Hi, this is Mico. I'm at BMW of San Francisco, and I got my new BMW 2014 X5 35 diesel. So obviously this is the diesel model. All diesels come as X-Drive, all-wheel drive. We're going to take it out for a test drive, and the main thing I want to show out a couple of things. First, this will be the first video for diesel, so we're going to see what it feels like. And another thing, this car has pretty much all the safety options. It has the full driver assistance plus. It has adaptive cruise control with stop and go. And it has all the latest safety things. It has blind spot monitoring system, lane departure system prevention, and active driving assistant. So we're going to look through everything, and we're going to try to see what it feels like, what it does in action. So a couple of displays that we have on the screen. You can pull, start the car, for mileage. If you care about your mileage, you can pull the efficient dynamics display. It'll show you your driving history by minute. It'll show you what's the mileage that you're getting. Another interesting displays that you can get sport displays. That's pretty standard on recent cars. And you can get X-Drive status or all-wheel drive status. Will show you what's going on with the car in real time. So those are the displays. We're going to get out of it for now. This button controls all your safety stuff, and you can go through it and see what actually works, what doesn't. Frontal collision warning, then you have pedestrian warning, lane departure, and blind spot, active blind spot detection. So right now we're going to turn everything on and leave it alone and see what it's going to do. In terms of driving, like most recent cars, all new BMWs, it has driving dynamics controls. You have two buttons right here where you can go between 3 different modes. Default mode is comfort. For better fuel economy, there's Eco Pro, and for better performance, there's a sport mode. And I'm going to play with all 3. So right now we are in comfort mode. We have all safety systems on, and we're going to go on the freeway. The new diesel, this is pretty much the same diesel as they had before, but it's connected to an 8-speed transmission, and that helps a lot in terms of smoothness of the car and acceleration. Also, the car is lighter. The car is much quieter. Just as a result, you can see it's just very smooth. It does sound a little bit different from gas, but definitely not as bad as the previous diesel, even the previous second generation X5. So right now, if I want to get around, again, this is comfort mode. Gets up to speed very easily. This is almost 80 miles an hour. Alright, so now we're going to try to do a couple of things. For the frontal collision warning, it works. You cannot just go closer to the car in front of you, get it to work. What happens, it only works when the car in front of you brakes, because it always senses the car in front of you. So I don't know if I can get it to work. We'll see. Right now I'm going to turn on cruise control. Default, it always starts at the longest distance between you and the car in front of you, and then you can adjust it to make it shorter. You cannot see the speed displays, that's on the head-up display, but I try to put as much information as I can on this driver display. So right now, if I want to accelerate, I'm going to get it up to 75. So I guess the car in front of me is still going pretty fast. Okay, so right now I'm catching up. 75, going 75, going closer to that car. I'm not touching the gas, and there we go. So now I feel my car is braking a little bit. So you can feel a little bit, but it's very smooth. Like you can see the camera doesn't jump. So right now it varies. I can see on the head-up display, right now it just went down to 72. Again, speed control is set at 75. If a car is going to jump in front of me, my car will slow down, and it's just going to increase the distance. If the car in front of me stops, my car will stop. Also, the front collision warning will work. By the way, it went down to 66. So I'm just not touching the gas, I'm only steering, and I can talk, I can concentrate on the video. If the frontal collision system works, and if the car in front of me brakes, a couple of things will happen. I'll get a flash warning on this display, flashing on the head-up display, and the brakes will get preloaded. So then I only have to touch the brake, and I have the full brake on. Now another thing, I'm going to try the blind spot monitoring. So you see right now it lights up. So if I'm going to turn the signal, it blinks at me, and the steering wheel shakes as well. So if there's a car in the blind spot, in my blind spot, and I try to get into it, the car warns me in two different ways. So right now I went down to 52 because of the car. It cleared a little bit, I'm accelerating, and I'm back to 63, slowing down again. There's a curve, but it doesn't matter, I can still do the same thing on the curve. And it's clear, blind spot's not showing anything, so I can change the lane. And again, it just keeps the distance from the car in front of me. Now this will be interesting, I don't know what's going to happen. Okay, this guy's going over there, he's not going to cut me off, which is nice. Alright, so now we can try another thing. To increase your fuel mileage, EcoPro is great. I've heard that it will increase your mileage by about 20%. Now my display shows a couple of things. In normal mode, this display shows you how far I can go on the tank. If I change it to EcoPro, display will change. Now it shows me how much I saved from the time I reset it. So I reset the system when I filled it up the first time. So that was about 300, 400 miles ago, I guess. So according to the system, I just saved about 42 miles to drive, you know, over the 400 miles that I've driven. So that's about 10% savings on the gas. That's not bad. And you know, when you're in cruise control, it really doesn't matter. It keeps the speed the same. It's not going to accelerate as aggressively, but otherwise it works just as well. No problem. All right, so we're in cruise control. And again, since I set it back there about 5 miles ago, I set it at 75. I'm only steering. I'm not touching the gas. I'm not touching the brake. I'm going 69 right now. Doesn't matter what's going on with the traffic in front of me. It's all the same to me. Alright, so let's see. There's a little bit of traffic. What I'm going to try to do now, I'm going to disengage the cruise control. And I'm going to put it in sport. So comfort, one more is sport. Now it sounds different. Steering gets tighter. As you can see, RPM stay higher, and the car gets way more responsive. Another thing I want to test is the lane departure. So what I need to do is I need to get somewhere where there's no car in the blind spot, like here. And I'm going to try to change a lane without signaling. So what it does, you cannot see it, but basically it vibrates the steering wheel. That's all it does. Alright, so I'm going to get off the freeway, back to comfort mode. So I'm ready to try the cruise control. As you can see, it works great. Adaptive cruise control. And we're going to drive a little bit through the city, and then we're going to do a little bit of fast driving. Not too fast, but just to get a feel for the car. Alright, so this comfort mode, but plenty of power, very responsive, very easy to drive. Another thing that's very different is the steering. So if you're used to traditional BMW feel or the previous X5, either gas or diesel, the steering was very stiff. You know, some people liked it. For some people, it was just a little bit too hard to steer in the city. This one, as in line with more recent BMWs, it's a lighter steering. It's much easier to drive. You still have very good feedback, but it is different. Alright, so that's a very interesting road. There are a lot of bumps. As you can see, the car takes them really well. Now I think I want to try what can you do with EcoPro in city driving. So let's assume this is city, EcoPro. So it takes away a little bit of the acceleration power, and it's going to give you warnings. Not warnings, but it's going to give you tips, driving tips, mainly if you brake too hard or if you accelerate too hard. So let's see if it's going to do it right now. So I'm going to step on it. Yeah, give me a warning right there that I'm accelerating too hard. But still, as you can see, I still can accelerate, I still can floor it. Another thing, let's see if it's going to do it right now. This car has the automatic start-stop. Let's see if it's going to do it now. So stop. Alright, so this is what I found with this car. When you come off the freeway, first couple of stops, it's not doing that. After that, it kicks in and starts stopping the engine when you stop on the light. As with all new cars, you can override it. If I push this button, it's going to override it and the engine will keep on running. But I want to get it to work at least once right now so you can see, maybe hear what it feels like. To me, it feels great. I love the fact that I don't burn gas while I'm just waiting for the light to change. Alright, so lane departure kind of works back and forth. Sometimes just vibrates the wheel just in case. Let's see, stop here. Still running. Okay, so I'm going to turn off lane departure. Turn it off. The rest will be on. And we're going to put it to sport. And we're going to go up the hill. One more. And get a little bit more acceleration with this car. This is the first time I'm doing it with this car here, with my diesel. Again, this is my personal car, so I'm not going to speed too much, but I can do with it pretty much whatever I want. Okay, while we're waiting, let's see what else. I can show you the surround view. So that's the surround view. There are 4 cameras in the car. It gives you as if you're looking at the car from above, you can see all around the car. So in addition, as old models, it just gives you another camera in the front. Alright, so we're going to go up the hill. There are some curves. Sport mode, 70 miles an hour. Okay, let's take this turn. Overall, after driving this car for about a week, it's like a 7 Series. You just sit higher. It's just a very luxurious car. Most luxurious BMWs I ever driven on a normal basis, so it's a lot of fun. Alright, test the brakes. Alright, now I think let's try this. Let's put transmission in sport. Okay, so it shifts. You still have a lot of shifting points. Now, this is not a sport, not an M-Sport package, so this car is not as stiff as it could be. It does not have dynamic handling, but still, as you can see, pretty decent speed. I'm taking these turns very aggressively, and the car holds itself really well. I think I can feel a bit of traction control kind of holds me together, but maybe it's just the car, and it's a nice, easy car to drive. Definitely cannot drive it as fast as I've driven the coupes, but that's again, that's normal. Still, I'm going pretty fast, and it's very solid. And another thing, if you notice the engine, you really don't hear the engine, diesel or not. RPMs are pretty high, but you can hear the wind noise. You cannot hear the engine. There's absolutely no road noise in this car. Alright, so that's a tricky turn here. I should slow down a little bit. By a little bit, I'm in down to 60. And it just goes into the corner really well and holds the corner great. And that's it. This is the end of this road. Cannot go fast anymore here. I hope you enjoyed the video. And as you can see, it's a great car. I really like it. It's way better than the previous X5. And if you're considering this, you definitely should drive it. I would say that out of all SUVs on the market, the three best ones that you can get for for what's available would be the Porsche Cayenne S or Turbo, the Range Rover, or the BMW X5. Nothing else would compare. Thank you very much.